What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today I have an unboxing and first impressions on the new Adidas Predator that just came out, and I'm super excited about these. I feel like a lot of people are excited about these boots that Adidas just came out with towards the end of the year, and which is kind of surprising just because I feel like the Pred just came out, and so getting a new model from the Predator is actually kind of surprising in my opinion. I thought these would come out later next year, but getting them early at the end of this year is just super exciting. Now this is that kind of orange colorway you guys can see here. It's called the Predator Elite FT FGTs. Now I'm guessing this is a colorway before the official release colorway. Just get right into the unboxing. So it comes in this limited collection box, which is it's just a standard box. I actually wish they made it a bit cooler. So here we have the string bag, which just says Predator, and it matches the colorway itself, and it's like a mesh string bag. You know, the standard string bags that we do get from Adidas. In the box we have the boots, and take this out, and then bam, here are the cleats themselves in a very bright colorway. I mean, this color is alright, it's really bright. I kind of wish they made these rubber elements a different color just so they could stand out a bit more. But let me know what you guys think of the colorway in the comments down below. And so here we have the boot, and you know, we have the version with the fold over tongue. So here we have the strap, and you know, you just fold it over, and boom, there we have it. The sole plate itself looks pretty cool. It has this kind of shimmer effect, and this, if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see it, it has these little specks on the sole plate, which I think looks really cool. Silhouette of the Predator this year just looks amazing in my opinion. I like these stripes here, and they're more of like a gunmetal gray color instead of like a black, which I just think looks really nice. And like I said, I just wish they made the rubber elements a different color just to show them off a bit more. But other than that, you know, it's a really good colorway. I don't really mind bright colors, like I said. I'm gonna go over everything about the boot itself. First, we'll talk about the upper. Now the upper here, it is still a hybrid touch. Here it is, hybrid touch 2.0, and the hybrid touch here is pretty soft, I would say. It's nice and pliable, soft. It does feel a bit thinner than the previous model. It doesn't feel as padded. There is still a liner, internal liner here that is a suede liner. You guys can see this green suede right here, but it doesn't really have that padding that the accuracy did have. So it's not super thin, but it is a bit on the thinner side. It's not really that padded, although I think the hybrid touch itself overall does have a little bit of padding. In terms of softness, I think these straight out of the box are a bit softer than the accuracy. I feel like once broken in, they're just going to get really soft. The accuracy itself was pretty soft once broken in, but these just feel a bit softer, maybe because they are a bit thinner than the accuracy. But in hand, right out of the box, they feel pretty nice, and I actually like that. Here with the rubber elements, you know, you guys can see how pliable it is. Nothing is hard or anything. It just feels super nice. So obviously the Predator does have these new thin rubber strike elements here, and you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it is pretty grippy. And these rubber elements this time around, they're fins and not dots, and so I feel like they're just going to be a bit more aggressive when striking the ball and curling and stuff like that. But they are a bit softer to the touch. They're not they're not hard. I actually was expecting them to be a bit harder, but they're actually pretty soft. And so I feel like with softer rubber, obviously it's going to grip the ball a bit better, or it's going to grip more. And because these are kind of more raised and a bit more aggressive than maybe the accuracy, I feel like you're just going to get more spin on the ball. In the tongue, we also get a little bit of rubber. And this Adidas logo here, I just noticed it is rubber actually. So there is pretty much grip all on top of the tongue, which is actually pretty interesting, adding a grip element here on the tongue. So wherever you strike the ball, you will get that little bit of grip, which I think is pretty good, you know, just using everything you can. I'll take the strap off so you guys can see the Predator elements up close. Now here on the outside, it is pretty much smooth. In the pictures, I did see that they have these ridges here, you guys can see. But they're not really that big enough to provide any grip. And the finish of this boot is more like a matte finish, and so I feel like it's not going to be as slick on the ball even if you're dribbling from the outside of the boot. I feel like this matte finish will have some grip on the ball, so it won't feel as slick. Obviously we do have the tongue, And the tongue here is kind of made out of this like really, it's not flimsy, but it is soft and it is kind of padded. It does have a good amount of padding. It's not thick, but it is like thicker than like other tongues. Like it does have some padding to it. Here we have the elastic strap that does say Predator, and it's pretty stretchy. It does feel pretty firm. Like it does take some resistance to pull it and then to snap it. It feels strong and sturdy. I don't think it's gonna snap anytime. And another thing that I really like about this tongue, which I'll show you guys on this one, is that the tongue kind of just like folds over on the inside. You guys can see that little flap here. Hopefully the camera focus. Like it kind of just like goes this way. So obviously with the fold over tongue, it's not gonna slip and slide. But I think even with the standard without the fold over tongue, it'll just have those like two flaps there. So I feel like with normal, obviously, you throw construction, it's like the tongue's gonna keep moving side to side, and that's kind of annoying. But for this one, because of those like flaps right there on the side, like, it's on both sides. It's just gonna keep in place, which I think it's a really smart idea from Adidas, just because it is kind of annoying that it's moving around. So I really like that. Over here in the heel, we do get some padding. It's actually not that crazy. Like the padding isn't a lot. These pillows obviously look like it's pretty thick, but they're actually not. They actually are on the thinner side, and it does have these little grip elements, I guess, which aren't really that grippy. They're more like these textured dots. I actually don't know how this is gonna feel. There isn't really any padding here in the bottom, just this like padding on top, which I guess hopefully that does lock in the heel. I feel like with the accuracy there was a bit of heel slippage. Hopefully they did fix that with this like model. And now we have the sole plate, which I feel like Adidas has kind of gone back to what they used to do with their sole plates. Remember when we used to have these triangle studs here? And I feel like it's basically the same layout that we have seen from Adidas before. And it works fine. These studs are a bit smaller and do have these like kind of triangular studs. I feel like these studs are still going to be pretty aggressive and you're going to be able to move around and stuff. So I feel like on AG and on FG they're going to be fine. The sole plate itself, it is on the stiffer side. Maybe it's not as flexible, but it's not super stiff like an Adidas X. I feel like it's a nice in between. And we do get one piece sole plate back. And with this external heel counter, I love an external heel counter. I just love the way it just hugs your heel here. And it just feels super secure. And I just like the way it looks like an external heel counter. I just think that was missing from an Adidas Predator in my opinion. And now we have it back. And overall, this is just going to make the boot a lot lighter as well, just because it is a one-piece sole plate. There is no like extra parts. All right, so now we're going to go and do an on-feet portions real quick, and then I'll leave you guys with my final thoughts. All right, guys, so here I have the boots on feet, and right out of the box, these boots are just super comfortable. Like, honestly thought that they were going to be a little too tight, but they're not. They just fit my foot like perfectly. Now the fit overall, they did get a bit slimmer and they do have less volume, but I feel like it's just for the better. It just fits a lot better. It just like hugs your foot closely. Like it's not squeezing your foot or anything. They're not super tight, at least from like my foot shape. They're just hugging it really nicely, and I feel no pressure points at all. They just feel really nice and snug, and like they just feel comfortable. I just like the way these fit. I actually prefer this fit better than the accuracy. The accuracy, I just found that they were just a little bit too much volume sometimes. And also, I feel like because the upper is slightly thinner, like right out of the box, the upper just feels a bit more like softer and more like pliable. Like I found with the accuracy was that you did have to break them in just a little bit just to get the upper a bit more softer. But these are just really soft from right out of the box. Like I could play with these for sure. I don't really need that much breaking time in these or at all. The heel itself, it feels really nice and solid. Like it's hugging my heel really nicely. There is no slippage at all whatsoever. I found with the accuracy, even like right now, if I lift my foot with the accuracy, I found like there was slippage. But with this, it just feels nice and secure. No complaints there. In terms of sizing, they're pretty much perfect. The shoe itself does kind of narrow a little, and so I do have a little bit of space, but obviously it's not that much to go half size down. So I would just recommend going shoe to size. And like I said, the toe box does get a bit more narrow. So if you guys are kind of wide in the toe box, then maybe these aren't really a good option for you. Now, in terms of the width for the rest of the boot, I feel like there is still a good amount of width just because you do get that standard tongue construction and it's not like a one piece upper. So you're able to accommodate a bit more. And they're not as wide and they don't have as much volume as the accuracy. But I feel like most people will still be able to wear these. Like me myself, I do have a bit of a wider foot and these fit perfectly. I don't have any pressure points at all. Nothing feels uncomfortable. Also, you guys can see in the elastic strap, these I have them more like in the middle, like going around the middle. For these, I do have them more on like the bottom of the toes, kind of. And so I would probably just wear them like this in the middle rather than pulling them like kind of more forward. I think that just causes a bit more tension to the strap itself. This one, the strap isn't as like tense. This one I feel like it's a bit more stretched out. So I'll probably just go with this one instead. Now my final thoughts on the new Pred. Now I'm super excited to wear these. I can't wait to wear these on the field and start like shooting the ball with some free kicks just to see how much grip it does provide on the ball. Like I feel like it's gonna just provide more grip compared to the accuracy just because the rubber is softer and there's just a bit more like surface area to hit the ball with. Overall, I'm happy with the upper, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just excited to wear these. So I will be doing a playtest video with these as soon as I can, and that will be uploaded as obviously as fast as I can, just that the weather is kind of cold. I also will do a comparison video with the previous model to show you guys the differences and stuff like that. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. Also subscribe for more future content with this football boot. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.